Bo. Welcome back to Code with Bo. In today's lesson, we're going to be talking about Swift's other container type, dictionaries. Last week, we discussed arrays, some ways to declare those, initialize them, and also some basic methods you can use on them. Today, we're going to be discussing dictionaries. And what a dictionary is it simply an unordered collection of key value pairs, and those key value pairs, they must each respectively be of the same type. So all your keys have to be of the same type as the other keys, and all the values have to be the same type as the other values. And what the key is for is it's an identifier for the value. And so you use this whenever you need your values to be looked up by that identifier. And a common example of this is in your contact book on your phone, on the side where it has A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, all the way through Z. If you click one of those letters, it jumps to the section of your contacts that has values that begin with that letter. So if I push the B, it's going to jump to my contacts that begin with the letter B. So that is the key for those values. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to show you how to create an empty dictionary, create a dictionary with a literal value, and then how to access and modify dictionaries with built-in methods and also with the subscript syntax. Let's go ahead and get started. So here we've created an empty dictionary called names, and the keys are going to be of type string, and then the values are also going to be of type string. So that's going to go in the brackets. You'll use this colon to separate the key from the value, and you'll put these empty parentheses at the end. So let's go ahead and add. So for the value A, we're just going to simply say Alec, and then that's perfectly fine right there. But the issue is there's more than one name that starts with A other than Alec. But if I want to put in, let's say I wanted to use an array here, Alec, Alphonse. If I wanted to do that, what you're going to see is we're going to get an error. And that's because we declared it to be of one single value, one single string value right there. If we wanted to do this, we wanted to fix this, we simply put this in brackets, and then that lets the compiler know that we're creating an array of strings. So that is how you would fix that right there. You can also just simply create a dictionary with a literal value, and you don't have to provide the type because of type inference, which is what we talked about last week in the arrays. It's going to see, so here we have a dictionary called anime show characters. The key for the first one's Naruto, key for the second one is Death Note, and then the compiler sees that there's an array of strings for both of these keys, and so it uses its capabilities of type inference to just inference those types as being strings. And so now you see where we have this anime show characters dictionary right here. We have a couple characters listed in an array for each key where the name of the shows are the key. So let's go ahead and start using some methods so we can access and modify this dictionary. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to get the count of the dictionary simply using the .count method. And so I hit run, and you can see where it prints 2. So we have 2 keys, right? That's what it's going to return, the count of the number of keys. And since we have 2 so far, we have Naruto and we have Death Note, that's what's going to be returned. If we added a third show, like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, then the count would change to 3. And you can also use the dot is empty to determine if a dictionary is empty or not. It'll return a boolean, and a boolean is just going to be true or false. So let's go ahead and print anime show characters dot is empty. And so you can see right there where we got false. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and comment these out so they don't keep on popping up. You can also add a new item with subscript syntax, which is essentially what we did right up here. Now we're going to add a new show characters, and let's add Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and the characters in that show are going to be Edward, Alphonse, Colonel Mustang, and Winry. All right. And so now once we run this, we're also going to run the dot count method just to show that there are now 3 key value pairs in this dictionary. So we're going to go ahead and run that. And boom, there you go. So that's how you know it worked. So I'm going to comment that out. You can also change an item with subscript syntax. So let's say I accidentally put SpongeBob in this array right here. And so let's go ahead and run that so it gets added. Well, SpongeBob is definitely not a part of Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. So what I'm going to want to do is use the key. And the same way you initialize it, you can also change it. So Edward. You can also iterate through this list or through the key value pairs, right, and search for the one that's wrong. But we'll get into that whenever we start talking about different types of algorithms like the search and sort and things like that. Right now, we're just gonna do it the hard code way. All right, and so so accidentally added it back. All right. And so now what we've done is we've changed, in this one where we accidentally added SpongeBob as a character in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, here we use the key to access the values in it, and we change the associated values to these, which is the same list without SpongeBob. All right. And you can also use update value to change items as well. And so this is where you type in you use the update value function. So I would say anime show character. So let's take this out as if SpongeBob was never taken out. And so you use the name of your dictionary, update value. You put in the value that you want to have it be updated to. So I'm just going to copy up to right there, just to make my life a little bit easier. Update value. Going to take out SpongeBob, and then and you're going to tell it the key that you want it to update for. And so what it's going to do is there we go. So now that should work. Okay, and so what this is going to do is it's going to return an optional. So you're going to want to use the if let, and it returns an optional because it's going to check to see if this key even exists first. And then it's going to store the old value in the variable after it updates it. So if let old value equals, we're going to put this cut like so. Print the old value was escape character old value. All right, and so this is going to print the old value right there. And we could put the else clause. You would do this as a safeguard if just in case there wasn't a value that was returned. So print no matching key. So we'll go ahead and run that. All right, and so you can see where this was the old value. So the fact that it's printing this is letting us know that the value was indeed successfully changed. All right, and so I'm going to go ahead and comment these out so it's not interfering with the rest of the code. All right. And then you can also get the value with subscript syntax and store it in a variable. So we can create a variable called FMAB, and that's going to simply, and what we would do is anime show characters FMAB print FMAB. So what we've done here is we created a container to hold the values associated with the anime show character keys regarding FMAB, which is Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. So we're gonna go ahead and print that. All right. And so this was an oh, since we commented, I was wondering why SpongeBob put showed up, but that's because we commented out the part that took it out. And so you can see where this was an optional value, so we should have unwrapped the value beforehand, but we are going to be A-OK regardless. So now I'm going to go ahead and comment this out. All right. And then if you just want to completely remove a key value pair, you can simply set it to nil. All right, so we're going to go ahead and run that. All right, so now it's been set to nil. I'm going to remove this up here since we took out the code that removes that for us. Let me see. Actually be for key, or we're going to remove the key with all of its values this way. And so what we'll do is I'm going to take this out so we can remove it again. Show characters dot remove value for key FMAB. And this is also going to return an optional. And so we're going to go ahead and do that if old. Kind of the same way we did up over here. Print the old value was, whoops. And then we'll simply say else print no key value pair was found. All right, so we're going to go ahead and run that. All right, and so you can see where this was actually removed, and just to prove that it was removed, where the key value pair count earlier was 3, it is now going to be 2. And boom. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and comment this out. Also going to just delete that. And now I'm going to show you how to simply iterate through a dictionary. And so the same way we iterated through an array where you said for item in the array name, you do the same thing for a dictionary, except you simply say for key value in the name of your dictionary, right? And so you can also just change these to for show and characters to match, what it is. We'll say print show characters. All right, we're gonna go ahead and print that now. Okay, so you can see where each show, the name of the show or the name of the key was printed, and then the values associated with that key were printed as well. And so that is some basic iteration. In the future videos, we'll get into where you do more complex operations, like moving individual or specific values that way. That way you aren't doing it how we did it manually with the subscript syntax over here. But for now, I just wanted to give you a basic introduction into dictionaries, what they are and how they work. But that's going to be it for this video. Next video, we're going to be going over control flow in Swift. If you have any questions, comments, feel free to say something below. As always, like and subscribe to the channel, and let me know what I could be doing better. And I hope you learned something new this day. So This has been the newest installment in our Switch for Beginners series. We talked about dictionaries, ways to access them and modify them. Hope you have a good rest of your day, and thank you for watching.